Here we go.
Yeah. I'm a fact finder, and I'll remind you, believe when I say I researched this all day, but we a two-sided pod. You need to rebut all I say with all of your ragings. Tell me why I've got red hair and jeans. Tell me why you bitch, you know it's all you do. Now it's time to get drunk and go on stereo. That two-sided way. That's the two-sided way.
There we are.
I'm talking about. That, sir, is what I'm screaming about. It's a little flash little pass of Mr. V serenade to start your goddamn Thursday, Friday if you're somewhere else, Saturday if you're not, January if you're in Narnia. Who cares? What's up, baby? How you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing. I'm here. I made it.
Yep.
Made it a year somehow, some way. Oh, it's been hard. It's been hard, Pete.
It's been a year, John, but I truly, to me, that just says that you don't have enough of an anxiety issue and a drinking problem, because if you have felt that year, to me, it's just like another day in the neighborhood. I'm like, I don't know. Has it been a year? I don't know. Like, when was the last good thing you can remember? Never? Perfect. You're in the zone. Now it's time to do the two-sided podcast.
Oh man, I'm gonna just do something really quick. Just there we go. All right, got some of the responsibility out of my hands. You're now an administrator. Deal with that.
Oh, thank God. Now, with great power comes great deniability. Wait, plausibility. Plausible deniability. Sanctimonious Antigone. Oh, wait. John, I got a lot of rhyming to do and a short time to get it in today. And I got my rhyming dictionary handy, and I'm ready to rock and roll.
Oh man, speaking of rocking and rolling, let's do this. Yeah. We got this this year 1 year anniversary of us being talking. Us like not hating each other. Yeah, we did a whole year without stopping.
Well, we've honestly, because I feel like in the tenure of our relationship, we've been more. I feel like we've hated each other more, but it's always unspoken. It's just like, God damn it, and it never like, well, talk to you in a couple of weeks or a month or whatever, and fuck off till then. Now it's like twice a week. Got to work through this. This is what a relationship is. Wow. No wonder I am single. That's a joke. I'm not. I have a lot of hangers-ons. Hangers-on. I got nothing. But before you start your goddamn didgeridoo and kazoo 1 year anniversary that you still have not re-recorded, even though we sent you to SoundCap with Mindfox, even though you have all of these things going for you, you've done nothing. Before you play that, we're going to have a shot to remember the good times before this show started, because that's what I feel like I want to remember.
There we go.
1 year ago today, my life ended, essentially.
That's right. It is actually tomorrow that the anniversary is. So this was the last day of your life as you knew it.
Yeah, the last hurrah. I was like, now I have scheduling that I don't get paid for this shit. I mean, my fans only site is blowing up, but
that's right.
I think it's because of my day-to-day rantings and ravings in my local town and farmers market, but I don't know. I can't be sure. There's no logistics there. So
the local public house.
Exactly. The ye old public house. Did you call it a public house? I did. Cheers, my brother.
Cheers.
Good to see your face. Foxy lady, you out there? Good you're here. Always a pleasure. Welcome to the party.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to everyone listening.
Right. All right. I feel like I'm a little bit ready. Roll. Hey, girl, hey.
Hey guys, how you doing on this fine Thursday evening, afternoon / daytime area? How y'all doing?
We're doing great. It's a Midland. It's this time of day is what we call the extra medium in daylight sizes of clothing. It's extra medium. It's not small or large. It's extra.
That's right.
You can't have brunch this late. You can't have dinner. Even early birds. No, 5 o'clock. Early birds could go and get the early bird special at Denny's. Right. God bless them.
Moon over my hammy.
That's breakfast, bro. But they serve breakfast all day. You're right. And when you're right. I give up.
Speaking of giving up, well, howdy.
Goddamn. It seems like it just gets worse and worse. I don't know if you're recording. You're trying to like denigrate the recording you do, and you're like doing a Xerox of a Xerox of a Xerox every time, but it cuts out more and more and more. And I guess that's good because we hear less and less and less of your goddamn didgeridoo, no talent kazoo ass. But I digress.
I'm John Peacock from Brooklyn, New York, currently out in the dirty mitten of Michigan.
And I'm my boy L. Peacock, Pete. You didn't throw your L in there. I was like, who are you changing your name to? Is it witness protection? And I'm in Southern California, and we're changing things up on our first year anniversary because we're introducing ourselves. And John challenged me, and I picked it up, and I rolled with it, baby.
That's right. You're listening to Two Sided, where every episode I challenge Pete with a bit of the two sides of life, the fun and the serious.
And I accept that challenge. I retort, and I say, I challenge you to fisticuffs. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. This is, if it was Mel Gibson and you were Tina Turner, this would be Thunderdome, baby. Welcome to the Thunderdome.
That's right.
Actually, no.
That's right.
If you were Tina Turner, I'd be Ike Turner.
Aww.
No, because we're musically inclined. Hit me again, Ike! This time put some steak on it!
Hey, so no transition whatsoever. This is something that I've had in my notes for the whole year, and I stopped even looking at the line. So I'm going to revisit it because this is our 1 year anniversary, and so I'm doing a check-in. Hey, my boy Pete, how you feeling? Yeah, word.
Confused.
Well, let's help you out. Let's get you a little less confused. So we just
I can't wait.
Whether they're listening live on the stereo app and or on our Facebook our YouTube live stream, or if they're listening retroactively, if you like, take some shots with us. We'll be doing that throughout the show.
All right, folks. So speaking of segues, John is super good at researching, but talking is not his super strong point. So, folks, we're now live on MySpace Live. We're on fansonly.org. We're streaming .gov. Oh yeah, whitehouse.gov. Sorry. We're sponsored by Anyway, if you like what you've seen, if you fear what you've heard, if you can't believe that this has been going on a year and no one has put a stop to it, either our friends or our families or our own goddamn consciences, hit subscribe, hit that like, hit that alert button. And John's going to go ahead, and I think the whole premise was it's a year-end in review for us, but it's also the two-sided pod, a lack of segues. Brought to you by John L. Peacock.
Hey, speaking of lack of segues, here's our first lightning round.
Lightning round! Let me get down! Lightning round! Oh, yeah!
The adorable lightning round guy, introduced about 4 months back in ye old Yondon times.
Yeah, I'm just a baby this early. Give me another year and I'll be just like you guys. Woo!
Poor bastard. Doesn't even know what's going to hit him.
Right. I'd say stay young, lightning guy. Stay young as long as you can. Don't get old, lightning guy. Stay fresh. Stay pertinent. Stay new and relevant.
So anybody who's anybody knows that our first lightning round of the episode is always a standard Q&A. Has been from the beginning. Will be until we change it up. But I have a special treat for my boy Pete. I found the first lightning round questions ever asked, and I'm going to ask you them again.
Jesus Christ. Let's hope I'm funnier or I have a better perspective, because I'm guessing things went south real quick. But
are you ready for the questions by boy Pete?
John Peacock, fire away!
First question ever asked of you in our lightning round was stuff or things.
Things.
Boom.
That's an easy one.
Got a second thought.
That's an easy one, because stuff, you got to move stuff around with you. Things you can have collectively in the consciousness of the humanity. I keep my seashell collection spread out on the beaches of the west coast of the United States. It's beautiful, and I can look at them anytime I want. And I don't have to move them every time I do.
I personally like things because I have a scarcity mindset, and so things in itself is plural, where stuff is just like, this is all my stuff, and it's just one lump of stuff, but it's many things, and so I enjoy having more, even though it's all in the verbiage.
All right, no, totally 100%. If you give me that $1 bill, I'll give you these 3 10-cent pieces. 3 is more than 1.
Will they be shiny?
As shiny as you want them there, Johnny boy. Johnny,
yourself a deal.
Johnny collector, Johnny numbers guy. Hey, is that 3? Look at that. He's like the worst Rain Man ever. You drop a box of toothpicks on the floor. He's like, that's a lot of toothpicks. How many are there? I don't know. There's a lot. I want them. I'll trade you this $100 bill for that group of toothpicks. How about that?
You know they're on a sticky bar floor, right? Yeah. That's a lot of toothpicks.
Saying numbers, man, numbers. Things and stuff.
Second question. What is the most immoral food you can imagine eating and or enjoying?
Immoral? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, and I feel like I know, because I had just watched Succession, and there was the bird that it's the illegal bird. You have to put the napkin over your head to hide. It helps with the aromas of the one bite bird, but it also is supposed to hide your shame from God, because it's this thing that's like. But I've become more of a goddamn sophisticant. No, a sycophant. There we go.
There we go.
In the last year, and so I would have to say naked sushi, because no one's ever going to get those birds. But come on, you can't tell me anytime you get takeout sushi at home, you're not like, hey man, anybody want to get naked and have sushi on? Yeah, and that's the problem is you got to watch out for that wasabi, because if they try to do, I'm saying, it's horrible.
I hear it's best in the navel area, because that's the least sensitive part.
Gross, man. That's totally wrong, because the navel is one of the most. It's basically like your front butthole. I don't want to get clinical and medical here, but it has the least amount of skin, so you can actually ingest more chemicals and more things in your belly button, just as you can in your anus. Take that one to the bank, baby.
The less you know.
Dr. Pete has left the building.
Third question. Favorite comedians?
Living or dead?
The question does not specify, and this is from a year ago, so I don't know.
I know, but I'm guessing you didn't listen to the right episode because I'm guessing I would have yelled at you and had to clarify then too. And you did not put any notes in your questions. You just found your goddamn list of questions like these all probably worked really well. He probably just answers them straight up. You didn't listen. You didn't learn. And that is what we've learned in the last year. There's been no learning, no growth, no inception of any kind.
Let's start with legends. Let's start with living or dead. You could do either.
Favorite comedians, living or dead? I would go George Carlin, Dave Chappelle. I'm a big fan of Dave Attell, Taylor Tomlinson. Bill Burr. Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy in his heyday. I would not want to see him stand up now. I would not want to see him on stage in the last 15 years. Because he's
a family man.
Yeah, and he's a huge family man. Like John. It's great when you mimic what I'm saying, but when you... No, it's not. Actually, it's not at all. But when you do it incorrectly, it's even worse. And it makes me just... a huge family man. Eddie Murphy has like 92 children. He's like Noah. You know, he just had his newest kid this last year. And it's like 15 or 28 or 37 children. I'm saying huge family man. He's a small man. He's a little small, demure. You could probably pick him up and put it in your pocket, John, so don't puff up like a goddamn blowfish when I say he's a huge family man, because that's not where we're going. Eddie Murphy before he puffed up like you say. How about that?
Actually, it was thinking of him as the Nutty Professor, but not the fat version. The when he's all like, no, and
so
that's what I was doing. I was doing pumped up, but not like bloated.
No, 100%. But you missed the point. I said I do not want to see Eddie Murphy doing any comedy, anything in the last 15 years.
Right. And
you're like, oh, what about that show when he played all the characters like maybe 11 years ago? Remember when he did Hercules? Folks.
It's like an easy 20 years.
Oh, my God. John, oh, my God. What about Harlem Nights? What about 48 Hours? What about like back when he was funny before he... Yeah, you don't have to go.
Another 48 Hours. All of SNL, even when he hosted. Obviously, Coming to America. Not so much Coming to America. Trading Places.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I know his heyday.
Yeah, I know. But then why are you going to go on a goddamn Norbert kick on this joke? Why are you doing this, John? Why? Here's the lightning round question for you. Why, John? What the fuck and why?
Eddie Murphy is a personal comedic hero of mine. We had the VHS of both Delirious and Raw growing up. I wasn't allowed to watch anything past the ice cream bit, but I always stayed past the ice cream bit. And so, all of him. He's like, growing up, was one of the first real stand-up comedian that I understood, that I got. I was like, this guy's just standing on stage and walking around and telling jokes. I hadn't seen that before. I'd seen like Monty Python. I'd seen like sketch comedies, SNL, but
You're just talking about childhood. You were a child and had not seen stand-up comedy.
So we had the Nutty Professor, and that was like the last movie I had of his. And so I regressed to the newest movie that is
right.
like embedded in there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. And you know what? The court will take that into account when we post sentencing, John, but it does not negate that you were stupid and must be punished for your stupidity. If you don't get punished, you don't learn. You have the knowledge to do good things. Don't be a fucking drungo.
Final question, since you basically, like most of the people you said were living, so we could just encompass that into the question, the subsequent question I was going to ask. Final question is favorite comedians of yours who you're now ashamed to mention.
Dane Cook.
There you go. I actually remember your answer for this one.
Carlos Mencia.
That's exactly it. I don't have to go back to remember that one.
Yeah, those two are, oh, God damn it. Oh, but because it was like, this was just like you were saying, I knew nothing then. I did not know any better. And it wasn't because my tastes were different. I was unaware of the world. So when you're like, oh, this is what I grew up on. No, this is what I first saw until not first saw, but it was like, oh, you're on TV. And like, here's a big, like, Dane Cook was the first like big CDs that were pushed, like other than Monty Python and Weird Al. And as far as comedians and like, oh, here's a really big thing. And it was like in FHM. Do you remember that shit? FHM and Maxim and
yep.
Like, oh my God, there's full grade spreads and it's hilarious. And it's two things. Like, I bought the goddamn CD. It was hilarious. And Carlos Mencia, he had a show. So that was like the other thing. But then I didn't realize like, oh, you guys are hacks. And you just fucking conned your way to the top, just like the two-sided pod is trying to do. So take note, John. Take note.
I have a question, just because I want to clarify this one. Where do you put Dennis Leary in the mix of this?
You cut out.
Okay, so I want a clarification question. Where do you put Dennis Leary in the mix of what you've just been talking about?
He ripped off Bill Hicks, but he did it a little differently. And the thing is, his best album was Bill Hicks' a lot of his material. His other albums were not great. He did have better things.
Yeah.
Correct. Thank you. We're going to take that into account during sentencing, John.
Sentencing.
You don't have to be legalistic. You can just let things slide by. I feel like the more I do this show and I realize, yes, I am my father's son, but I feel like my dad with my mom, where it's my dad is telling a story. She's like, that's not what happened. Just can I finish? Yeah, but did you know that the name was... That's fucking great. How about you get a fucking pamphlet and you hand it out after I'm done talking and everybody can fill in the blanks if they have questions and you don't need to fucking answer. But then again, like, how would you live and breathe if you didn't have all the answers? Oof. Anyway, he's a talented artist. He's a talented because his other work, his post work and the things he's done after that has been good. He did bite off of those materials 100%. His other stand-up, but as an actor, as a sketch comedy, as a writer, as a director, as an actor, great. So he's middle ground, man.
I would agree with you, and I didn't want to show my hand too much, but I actually had that album. I do like him as a comedian, and knowing the backstory, they were friends. It's like Willie Nelson said, "Hey, remember that song I wrote? Let's all get together and steal each other's songs." Oh wait, no, that was Chris Christopherson. It's different from Mencia. It's different from Mencia because he was just going to no names who were trying to get a name, and he was taking it out of their, taking it away from them, and that's just messed up.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's some kind of a correlation in here of like if John goes and does a stand-up comedy album in like a couple of years, like, this is great jokes. Like, who the fuck do you think you are, John? And literally, if it's good, they can go back and listen to the last year of this podcast and find all the jokes that I said that John wrote down, and Carlos Mencia the fucking Bill Hicks out of me. Oof, 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 oof.
Listen, buddy. Let's play a couple of these messages, maybe have a shot, cleanse the palate, and let's get into our first segment of the evening. What do you think?
Yeah, giddy up. Yeah, let's focus. Let's get our fucking game face on and let take place. Come to the Sweat Lodge. We're gonna
Denny's at this time of day? No. Denny's is a after the bar kind of thing. You go there and have the biggest breakfast that your eyes can hold, and you munch out, and then you call it a night. Denny's Moons Over Miami is an after bar thing.
100%. Like, I don't know anyone in their right mind who's like, all right, we're up at 9 a.m. pretty early for a weekend. You guys want to go to Denny's? Like, nobody actively goes to have breakfast or lunch at Denny's. Right. Like, it is, I'm hammered and it's close and I can walk, or it's on the drive home and it's open. But it's like, And at that point, it's like, yeah, put more gravy on it. That's a piece of pie. More gravy, please. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm here, bitches. Let's hear this two-sidedness.
Yep. Yes.
They need it.
Girl.
Like, one be the introvert and one be like the introvert, and like make this conversation happen. I sound so monotone. Oh my god. I need to change up my voice though, bro. I'm gonna come back in a different voice. You're not gonna know who the fuck I am.
What? See, John, and here is someone new who literally called out exactly what we need to do. You need to do your goddamn job so I can do my goddamn job. Okay. And John's like, blur lines because I'm special today. No, John. The two sides, and you need to stick to your own goddamn side. Our kind doesn't like your kind coming around here. We have been talking, and there's a whole fence built up between us for a reason. Good fences make good two-sided neighbors.
Mm-hmm. Gingers need not apply.
Oh, no. I said, so I climbed the fence and I yelled at the house, said, what gives you the right to put up a fence and keep people out and keep Mother Nature in? If God was here, he'd tell it to your face, man, you're some kind of sinner. Gingers need not apply. Blocking up my scenery. It's my time. I'm just saying. Oh, Tesla the fuck out of you. All right, folks, if you like what you've heard, if you've seen what you've believed, if you've felt in your heart, in your soul, that it's right, you know if it's right, I'd like you to come down. We're doing an altar call. Come on down with your shots, hold them up to your camera, and ching, 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 drink them up, folks. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for listening.
God, you been healed.
Oh man, needed that. All right, we're first going to look at some serious segments throughout the year as the first part of our 1-year anniversary review.
Yes. Look, if I put my hands like this, I look like I'm bald. No, you are bald. You have ginger hair.
I have this much hair.
Yeah. Like you're the Captain Picard. If you cut it down long, like you'd have the guy around the head of the hat. You have the.
No, that's not Captain Picard. That's Gallagher.
Okay, well, whatever you're saying, it's the guy from space, from Star Wars, who worked on in Cloud City. He's like, and has a thing here who's bald. But you grew your shit. Beautiful. I'm just saying, I don't have that, but I have much more. Like, look at that. Look at that shit. Look at that.
Go.
That's right. That's right, John.
So this is an actual chronological order from our earliest ones that I felt were relevant enough to talk about to the newest ones. All before, mostly before any of them started going on to Spotify. So basically for the first 9 months of our conversations. You ready?
Oh, it's like our baby. 9 months. It was a little premature, but these are things before we. I know. Again, you're acting out the baby. I say a word and you act it out. You don't have to. You don't have to. Sizzle like bacon. Bacon? Like you don't. No. You don't have to. Shh, sit, boy, sit. It's like talking to a dog and he hears his name. Fuck, don't say his name. He's going to get all hibbity-dibbity if you say goddamn noun or action. You give him a fucking adverb, he's fucked. Go ahead, John.
Sure, our first one is QAnon. So this is a review. So months ago, when the 4-part documentary came out on HBO, I scoured through that, did a little extra research, and brought in this really, really long talk about this journey to find Q, and it was so stupid. So all I have for this is the name of the people who call themselves Q, and that's it.
Yeah, no, that's great, John. The thing is, this is great. This whole retrospect of what we've been doing and what we've done and our shortcomings and how we've grown and how we have not. Brilliant, bro. Because while I realized you did your deep dive into the 4-part HBO documentary and watched it, and like, that's some shit. I went and joined an organization, John. I stormed the Dairy Queen because I don't support royalty in my town. There shall be no royalty here. Queens, kings, no monarchies. And I said, I will take a McFlurry before I get arrested. Nope. And then they said, that's McDonald's. I was like, oh no. Frosty. No, Frost, that's Wendy's. Shit. I was like, I don't know where I am. That's like, welcome to Q World.
I liked Wendy's. I always liked Wendy's.
I can see my Wendy's from here.
So as we know, there are Q connections to the January 6th insurrection. And now that they've identified the two people who were and are currently calling themselves Q or QAnon, Frederick Brennan and James and Ron Watkins, father-son duo, they are trying to pursue legal action.
Yeah, because it's like it's the same guys from the documentary, the 4chan, the 8chan, the 16chan.
That's right.
They're Chan. Everybody Chan. Old McChan had a farm. Q on Q.
My favorite Chan was the 64 Chan because it had the best Mario Kart.
It's nice that you shoehorned your T-shirt into your joke, John. Like it's just like, let's go ahead and make sure that people know I'm funny about my clothes. That's good. I was gonna say Charlie Chan because that was one of the great series from like the 60s, 70s, 60s. Yeah. My dad used to watch it. Super awful, super racist. Great detective work. It's like the same thing like Mannix, or like, oh, it's a good show. Like, oh, that's horrible. Can't watch that no more. Like Mom and Pa Kettle. Anyway, Q.
All in the family, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Q is all in the family, and I feel like you saying that is a message from Q. So I want everyone out there right now listening to know that the chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache, and Q is ready to pounce. The words have been spoken. Get ready. It's all a goddamn John. It's all a fucking the national treasure. It's Nicolas Cage. It's the Masons. It's the Masonic Lodge. It's the like, oh, here's symbols, and they're like, yeah, bitch. I can find symbols anywhere I want to. Like, I can not if I also want to. Like, how about you just let your mind go to better things in life, like Mario Kart 64 or the new seasons of great shows on Peacock. Not you. You're a horrible person who have no great shows, but the network. I know. Johnny Two Thumbs over there agrees with everything I say.
I find it exceptionally amazing that the real diehard Q followers will find this as an exclusive Q drop and will understand that our critique of Q is just a ploy, but that they'll sift through it, and everything that you said for that exclusive two-sided Q drop, they'll be on it.
John, apparently you missed what I said at first. I went deep. I joined up. Of course they are following us and listening. Who do you think those followers in Australia are? The ones in Eastern Europe who we get the demographics on Spotify. They're waiting for my Q drops, baby. Right. I'm a vessel. I'm merely a conduit to send the message to the masses, John. If you can't trust me, who can you trust?
All right, I'm done with that. Our next one.
I may be a monster, but I'm your monster, John. I'm your fucking monster. You created me. You got to deal with me. You wanted this. You rubbed my lamp. You brought me here. You kept feeding me booze and said, let's keep talking year long, week after week. Talkie, jockey. I don't even know what that means. But Johnny Two Thumbs over there. Johnny
Speaking
Numbers.
Of monsters, here's another man-made monster. Brexit. This is our next topic that we discussed so long ago. This was before they were fully Brexited, which is different now. Right. Well, mostly different. There's a lot of weird things going on.
A lot of weird. It was just a tip back then. It was like the tip of Brexit was in. Like they barely felt it. Like we were aware it was in, but we weren't like feeling the full brunt of the Brexit.
No.
And folks, I think you can all imagine what I mean. You know, seceding from a union. You know what I'm talking about.
So for Brexit, I did a little bit more. But all of these, I decided to go the quick route. I remember early on in our inception of Two-Sided, I was thinking, maybe I'll do a single source for each segment, or I'll do really rudimentary like headlines. And so for these segments, looking back at them, I only looked at headlines. So this is a series of headlines that popped up on Yahoo News when I typed in Brexit. You ready?
I am, but can I make one joke first? Yeah. I mean, I adore you, but it's at your expense. Folks, if you've watched our show, listened to our show for the last year, there's probably no difference of the amount of research John does from headlines to his favorite Wikipedia page in this last year. Granted, he has footnotes. He watches a lot of different documentaries, but the research is just like my research on my booster shot. It's like I do my own research. What does that mean? I talk to crazy people in my neighborhood and I look at weird videos on the internet. Good research, but seriously, you're good. That was a funny joke, but good. You're good. Go. I can't wait. Go. You're super good. Go.
So because of Brexit, UK, a Phantom of the Opera uses Chinese production company to tour the EU.
Okay, I actively don't remember this. I feel like I would have. This was probably the second. No, this is a serious one. This is the first one. Was I hammered? Because I don't remember this. I don't have an issue with this.
These are all new. These are all new. These are all updates. What I'm doing with all this review, I'm not looking at the old stuff. Screw that. We already talked about it. I'm looking at the new stuff of these topics that we've already talked about.
Okay. And that you're still
headlines.
only your same topic, but you're only looking at headlines.
Yeah, that's what I decided to do for this year in review.
Okay.
Yeah.
Folks, and this is another opportunity to let everyone know that in the two-sided, John doesn't communicate well and I don't listen well. And so it makes for a brilliant meeting of the minds. There's a lot of misunderstandings. And I say, I don't know if that's going to be fine. He said, little jug of wine. And I was like, and then we went off from there. It's been great.
So this is brand new. This is actually like 2 days ago.
Okay.
UK production of Phantom of the Opera uses Chinese production company to tour the EU.
Okay. What would you like me to say about this? Because I
they could not use either a EU production company or a UK production company because of the weird things that are happening with the stall in checks of EU versus UK goods import export. So as they're considered an export, they couldn't use EU.
Right. So at that point, because of Brexit, they had to reach out to a different production company. Their actors, their director, their people are all the same. John. Here's my take on that. Yep. If you've seen Phantom once or twice, you don't need to go see it again. Like, honestly, it's one of those ones, like, put in the bucket. Like, maybe when you have grandkids, take them to see it. Right. It's not a Les Mis. Like, you got to see Les Mis. You have to see... okay, the only thing Phantom has is, chandelier falls. Bro, you come to my house, I promise you something will fall. I'll sing, too. Save you a ticket.
He will, ladies and gentlemen.
3! Yeah, no. Okay. But Miss Saigon is, you have to see that because it's a great... I'm not a big fan of opera, but I love Madame Butterfly. Yeah. Like, it's a beautiful, beautiful opera. And the story is fucking amazing. And then when they took that and made it into Miss Saigon, unbelievable music, great story, and the effects are like, it's just like Les Mis, where beautiful story, great songs, and like you get your barricade coming down. Like, I'm in a theater. I feel like I need to go and burn something right now. Like, I built a barricade around my car when I got there. I was like, we're smoking weed till everyone's gone. No one's coming. They're gone. They're gone. Give me weed if you can. I don't know where my lighter is. I can't find fire. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's I'm inspired by musicals. But
and Saigon has a literal helicopter come down and back up. That's amazing.
Yeah. No, but bro, I could get a helicopter to come down and up in your goddamn office right now. I know people. If you want a helicopter, John, I can get you a baby. Give me half an hour. I can find you a baby. I got things. I got people happening. I got irons all over the fires in all of the states, baby.
It's sad to say, but I think you could find a baby easier than you could find a helicopter.
That's actually 100% true. I have 2 in the back of the lightning guy right now. The deals fell through. You talk about his babies! Okay, no, he's like, go. Anyway. But I'm saying, Miss Saigon, the Phantom of the Opera, it's great. It's a great show, but it's just so, like, when you... Raul, fuck you, Raul. Christine, no thank you very much. The best thing they have is like, oh, look, you're on a boat in a weird canal that you seem to... Yep, and exactly, John, what I'm saying is what you're doing. That's great. And when they sizzle bacon on the griddle, and then you want to do that, and when they skydive into... And remember I'm just trying to make you do weird things because you just seem to do everything I say. So when I say paddle through the things, like, yes, skill it like bacon. There was the octopus one. I have 8 legs. Come on, John, stick with me, baby. They only have the paddle boats and they have the chandelier falling, which make you like, oh! Right. If you're sitting in the middle of the ground and like, people who don't know, like, oh, my grandma peed herself. Like, oh, like it's so, oh, that's all it is. And
right,
you see
especially for the
like,
80s, it was great, but it's the 80s. Those are literal 80s stage effects.
Fuck 80s, man. Did you see Cats? Did you see Starlight Express? They got skates and everything.
Yeah, Starlight Express. Yeah, unfortunately, I did see Cats.
The stage play of Cats I thought was okay. I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. Yeah. I hated a lot of other shows. The movie, because if you had not fuzzed out the buttholes, I would have watched it. I would have been like, "Yep, I'm in." Idris Elba, James Corden. I've had dreams about Idris Elba's butthole looks like. Ian McKellen, Sir Ian McKellen. Is that too much? Too soon? Did I just show my hand job?
You know, he hit on me once, but that's for another time. Anyway, second headline. Because of Brexit, EU launches a post-Brexit legal challenge to the UK over wind farms.
Well, yeah, they cause cancer and they kill the birds.
Right.
You know that, right?
Of course, yeah. No, where do you think we are? America. Third one, charity announces funds for touring musicians hit by Brexit.
Charity is one of my favorite strippers at the club. I'm so glad she's doing something for the people who are hit hard by Brexit. That's awesome. Good for her.
Would you say that she's making it rain?
Oh, I bring the thunder, she brings the rain. You know what I mean, baby.
So this is a major thing that goes back to the Phantom of the Opera tour. Fresh delay of EU import checks explored amid cost of living crisis. So there's a huge delay. I know. I saw several headlines. This is the one because I thought it had a couple of things we could.
No, I'm with you, but you need to take a breath because the words you said, I did not comprehend all of them at the same time. And then I know you're trying to explain, but say the headline again, take a breath.
Yep.
This is how we communicate. Look me in the eye. Now look away. Now look me in the eye. Now look away. Now look me in the eye. I can't finish if you're not looking. Ah! There you go.
So the headline is fresh delay to EU import checks explored amid cost of living crisis. The first part is the big thing that I saw several headlines for. There's a new delay, fresh delay, they call it, new delay of EU import checks. And that's been causing, because they don't know how to check the imports, they're either like some essentials, they're just allowing everything in, and the non-essentials, like theater, they're cutting everything and just saying, wait until we have the checks. We don't know what kind of import-export checks we're going to have. This headline also talks about this new cost of living crisis within the UK, which I thought was interesting.
Right, it's a twofer. So there's a check of coming imports and exports, so fresh and so clean, as they say.
Right. That's right.
And there's also the cost of living, which if things are not coming in, the cost of living is rising. You can't maintain, you can't keep up with how things are going. I'm guessing is what you're saying. Is that correct?
Very much so. Yep.
Okay, because I'm with you. Like that I get, man. Like I have been having to do so many home invasions to keep up with rent lately. It's been ridiculous. So I can't imagine what the Brexit people are having to deal with. It's ridiculous.
And that's all extra hours that you are not getting overtime for. You are not getting overtime for those.
No, and it's like I get time and a half when I stay late at the morgue, or in the OR or the ER or the PMC or the CBS or the LMNOP. Any acronym I go to, I get time and a half, John. And then I home invade and I pray for some nice valuables. It's just not a good lesson plan for the kids, John.
Final headline for Brexit. Because of Brexit, Labour, the Labour Party, more trusted than Tories on tax and public spending.
Okay, so then I can make jokes about names, but that is one thing I have the hardest time keeping up in our political spectrum of of the names of the things they call people and the symbols and whatever. Like everything in my world is black and white. It's like if I agree with you, like, you're good. If I don't, you're an asshole. So they're like, oh, well, here's a donkey and an elephant. When we talk about America stuff, like that's both bad. Like which one is the good one? I don't. They're both wearing red, white, and blue and weird hats. Like I don't.
That's right.
I don't know.
Sam is their uncle. Yeah.
Right. And then it's like, oh, it's a red state, a blue state. I did not get that. I honestly, to be honest, like, if you told me right now, bet your life on it, put your gun to my head, like 100%. Do you know? Like, yeah, no. I'm like 94%. Like but I don't know. But
they just introduced purple states as well.
Well, no, that's when you have an infection, and if you need to get that checked out. Like that's bad, super bad. But when they're like, oh, here's Tories and here's the Labor Party, and it's like, all right, this is across the pond. This is the same thing. I'm not living it, so I don't know. Like, oh, these are the good people, these are the bad people, or like these are assholes. These are because everyone. Like the thing is, no one goes out to be a bad person, John.
Right.
Like that's one of the things that I've had to like get through my head recently is like it doesn't matter how fucking vitriol I feel and anyone I think is a piece of shit in their beliefs and their ideas and their want of the future. They're not bad people. They want the best for themselves, for their family, for their people. And it's like this is their idea, their goal, their dream. And it's like
right.
It's literally just what you have understood in your vacuum of life. You're cool. You might have traveled everywhere, but you have traveled in this bubble. You have not seen the people. You have not, like I've been to every country. Like, yeah, but have you been to every country?
Right. Have on a cruise, you've been to every country. Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's those things like I have to give them a little leeway, but at the same time, I still like, oh, you're bad, you're good. But when it's overseas, like there's the Tories and I'm like, I'm not sure what they believe. And to me, there was a chick that I worked with years ago. Her name's Tori and I didn't like her. So they're bad to me anyway. In the Labor Party, I'm lazy as fuck and I don't like working. So I don't like that either. So pretty much, I don't know what to do.
Right. So, quick, the Labor Party, labor union, because that definition actually does hold true between U.S., UK, gap in our language. They are more the liberal / socialistic party, right? They are pro-union, they're pro-labor, they're pro-working man, and that's their essential. I always oversimplify, and everyone knows that. So screw you if you say, "Oh, I oversimplified." The Tories,
I truly
control. Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Who have been in control for quite a while. They're the ones who created the Brexit vote. The prime minister thus asked for the vote, and then when it went Brexit, he resigned because he didn't think it would happen because the Tories are the ones who are pushing the Brexit vote.
Right.
Or Brexit at this point.
One thing,
it's
one thing that I would say that anyone who's ever listened to the show and if they come back and like once you subscribe and like and hit that alert button that you're seeing right now, and I know you're looking at it. Just hit it. What's it going to hurt? What's it going to hurt? No, John, don't act like you're pushing the button. It's so good. This motherfucker was like, there's so many jokes here, but I need to stay on point. I need to stay on topic. Oh, I hate you so much. I love you more than anything. I hate you more than anything. Okay. Hit that like and alert button. Anyone who's listened to the show knows that John never oversimplifies anything. He will totally ignore something and not even address it, or he will go deep in depth of how the door was opened and a man walked out and like, this is all about how someone entered a building. And then the people greeted him and he walked with a high step, knees forward, chest out, look at him go. And that is when it all went down. So you're talking about a man entering a building. No oversimplification. Complete, utter denial of the fact, or extremely legalistic, which is great. That's right. That's right. Super good. That's right.
That's correct.
That's right. I'm going to start doing that's right every time I go off on something, so you don't have anything to say. That's right. Let's figure your words out.
So that's. Do you want now that you know a little bit more about the Tory labor?
Keep going, baby. Okay, cool. I'm ready. Like this is our 1 year anniversary. Like I got a cake and some presents for the show, and I didn't want to bring them out too soon because you know how the show gets. The show gets very like, oh, it has to sleep tonight. The show, if we give it all too much sugar and attention, it's gonna be like, look at me on a show. We don't need that. So I need you to just continue, and we'll give you the treats later. Show.
Sure.
That's right. That's correct. That's right.
So that is the last one, but the slightly more context is that the Tories have been in control for the past while, and the new poll for the first time since they've been in control has the Labour Party as more trusted for taxes and how they're using public funds, which is a huge deal. Obviously, that can sway a nation in so many ways, and has ours, has theirs, has many others.
Yeah, dude. 100%. It's like when you see how you trust and how but at the same time, just because the national idea of this is our thought process and this is our thought process doesn't mean it's correct. It means there's a wave of idealism. It's a wave of thought process that you could be swept up. You know, it's just like, and every time I go back to like the vow, like I think we can make Nexium work, John. It's going to be like, I'm going to give good speeches. We're going to like good networking. We'll have fun. I'm not going to brand anyone unless you want it. You have to ask for it, John. And then we'll play volleyball. So we're halfway there.
Nexium a little nip and tuck, and we'll be all good.
Exactly. It's like if Nexium, if it's like the vow meets Grey's Anatomy. Long-running season that everybody loves with a good premise that everybody can get down with. Thanks, folks.
Well, you remember this with our later lightning round. But let's move on. Pain. Pain is our next topic. And I have just one headline that I brought up from Pain. Are you ready?
Hear me now, believe you later. You will experience the pain that you've never... Yeah, no, I'm ready. Like, that was a bad one, but I'm ready. Like, I was just excited about pain. So, yeah, go. Ready, go. Yep, go.
Best 5 foods for joint pain. Smoked salmon, broccoli, turmeric, olive oil, and can you guess the last one? It's very common. You love it. I love it. Everybody loves it. Smells great in a pan.
What's that thing we used to eat all the time back in the day? Oh, that's right. Pussy.
Garlic. Oh.
You don't put pussy in a pan. And Funyuns. Yeah. Funyuns. Nope. Okay. Like, I'm glad you rattled them off because I thought you were asking me. It's like, you need joint pain. All right, here we go. It's going to be Pop Rocks. It's going to be chilaquiles.
Really good.
I don't know about what your recipe is like. Also, ants on a log. That's celery with peanut butter and raisins. The new Coke and Pepsi Clear. Those are the things that really help with joint pain. If you can find them, highly recommend.
Especially the ones that were made back in the 80s and 90s. That's the best ones.
If you could find the warehouse of that shit, oh my God. It's not good for you. It is going to glow. But it just helps you fucking move a little more Pinocchio-like. You're a real boy now. Tell Geppetto you can walk around, even in Wales. Not a problem.
My grandma Marge, shout out to Grandma Marge. She
Shout
had
out grandmas.
She had a recipe of arthritis pain reduction, and it was literally white raisins that were soaked in vodka drained because she's Mormon, she doesn't drink, and then she would eat the raisins.
Oh, 100%. My pain remedy, it was just a little bit of heroin with some fentanyl, some Darvocet, some Roxacet, some Percocet, anything in the set family, really. And then you chase it with a Glenfiddich, Glenlivet, any Glen really will do.
Yeah.
The set family finished by the Glen family. And it's like, wow, this is what makes you feel better. And it's like not even prescribed. It's super good.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, some people will do pain.
Right? What a woman wants.
Next topic, the Delta variant.
Oh, the Delta Mekong? This was in Brad Rock Missing in Action. This is Rambo 3, John. I feel like I know this one. The worst of the Rambos. But Rambo 2 was super good, but when he went to the Delta Mekong, and it was like, nothing can stop these variants! Nothing! And he did. It was great. It was great. He had his bow with... Anyway, what are you talking? Are we on the same page? Are we picking up what we're putting down?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, good. Because Sylvester Stallone, one of my favorites. Anyone watch what is it? Oliver.
Tango and Cash.
Turner.
Oliver, yeah.
Oliver, yeah. I was gonna go off you, Tango and Cash. No, Turner and Hooch. No, Rizzoli and Isles. No, shit. Yeah, but Oliver. That one, such a great movie. Highly recommend that. It's almost like a Clue. It feels like because there's all these different things happening, and he's like a mobster. He's like, 1, do this. 2, do this. 3, do this. Right, and he looks like that because his head comes up and his arms and he
has no neck because of the
right.
Suit.
No, exactly what John looked like right then if you were watching, because John will mimic anything we talk about. Let's talk about blue whales, John. Go ahead.
So when just typing that in, these are the first 2 headlines that popped up, both different local Fox News affiliates. First one, is there a reason some get COVID-19 and others don't? ?
Yeah. Is there... we can break this down on the stupidest goddamn level you could possibly imagine, John. You can talk about in a normal world, like, is there a reason people get the flu and some people don't? Okay, let's go further. Is there a reason some people get STDs and some don't? Uh-huh. Is there a reason some people overdose from drugs and others don't? Yes. Because if you are putting yourself in these situations, you are more likely to contract said issue.
Yeah.
Bro, and that is why the Two-Sided Pod is sponsoring, hey, bro, you need a no man. For only $24 a month, you too can get a no man. Anytime you're calling and thinking about some stupid shit, you text, email, call on a burner phone that we're going to get through a P.O. box of that no man number for the Two-Sided Pod. I'm like, man, I'm thinking about having unprotected sex with a heroin needle after I cough on a bunch of people at a Trump rally. He's like, no, man, no, don't do it. Like, all right, I'll just have sex with the heroin at home. Good, that's better.
Less exposure.
And that's a joke because no one should have sex with needles.
The less you know.
Folks, if you like what you've heard, if you can't believe you've seen this, if you've wrecked your world spiritually, mentally, and historically, this is the time to go ahead and hit that subscribe and like button in the lower left, lower right. I don't know where you're living. It could be Australia. It could counterclockwise. It could clockwise. They could be inverted. We just don't know. But hit that button, and we'll go ahead and make sure we keep bringing those laughs to your down under dials.
And the second headline is kids' COVID vaccinations less effective against Omicron versus Delta, but helps ward off severe illness.
Yeah, that's fine. Like it's good. It's like everybody needs to take shots. Everybody needs to take shots. Just take your shots. Take your goddamn shots. When you can, take your shots. If you're a child and if you have children and you're John, let's back up here. John, ready? If you're an adult and you're a goddamn master of your own universe, you enjoy a good hot sauce every now and again, right? So you get your hot sauces. You take care of your hot sauce inclinations. You like, oh, that's a little spicy. Daddy likey, right? You have a small child. You can't give them that goddamn Reaper. You can't give them the scorpion pepper. However, when they come of age, Heatness.com, keep it hot, baby. They have small children's hot sauces, which are like made from apple and weird things. So when they're able to, give them some hot sauce. Bring them in. It's just like the shots. Like maybe not. I don't know. But what's it going to hurt? Give them a little hot sauce, baby. Give them a little hot sauce.
We're doling out the advice today. I just have to point that out. I mean, it's been amazing.
I know. There's a lot of funny things to be said. I feel like the Two-Sided Pod has gone from a comedy podcast to kind of something that the CDC is going to be on their radar. Like Fauci's going to be like, yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah. We are almost an experience.
Oh, no. We're definitely experienced, John. We are an experience. This is not like freebasing. This is freebasing, John.
Speaking of freebasing, our next topic is the filibuster.
Folks, anyone who doesn't know, a filibuster is something I use quite excessively in this show. When I see John losing interest, losing context, losing focus, losing his bladder control, I step in and I make Mr. Jones goes to Washington. Mr. Adams goes, fuck, shit.
Mr. Smith goes to Washington.
Mr. Smith goes to Washington. I knew it was a name that no one cared about. I am your Mr. Smith, folks. Folks, if you like the bullshit that you've heard, if you can't believe I'm still talking, if you can't believe the filibuster still exists in our world today, hit that subscribe, hit that like button. We'll see what we can do to shut me up and shut all the senators up for the filibustering bullshit. Folks, only you can prevent filibustering.
He's a regular Jimmy Stewart up in here. Holy cow.
It's not in my house. It's in Pam's house and in John's house. There's no money here. How much you need, John? You need $8.50 for a bottle of wine? You should get better tasting wine, John. Go to Pam's house. She has good booze.
So when I typed in filibuster, nothing came up with that in the title for the Yahoo News. Nothing on the first page. So instead, I took the top 5 things that did come up, and these are 5 headlines. Ready?
Let's do it. Yep, I'm so ready. Like, they're going to be great. They're going to be super great. Let's do it.
Stephen Colbert, this is the first one, very one. Stephen Colbert names top Republican in charge of Representative Madison Cawthorn's orgies.
Okay. God damn it, John. God damn it. I don't like it when you do things to me because I am a polarizing person. I am a polarized person. I am aggressively. I am camped here. Fuck you. Like, but when, God damn it. When the news headline is, you look up filibuster and it talks about Hawthorne and his stupid coke and orgies thing about the GOP, we've gone so far off the res. Like, this is the bullshit that is the problem with what I like to call our show, two-sided fake news. It's aggressively unfortunate. It's funny, but you need to have perspective to make it funny. Because if you think it's true, baby Jesus, if you think this show is true, oh no, pumpkin pie, you need to go somewhere else. This is all for ha-has and giggles, all of it. John and I are we have a Mustang ranch in Montana that we're the closest of friends, that we never argue, and we raise a flock of seagulls. Not only the band and the hare, but actively seagulls. It's very strange in Montana because there's not a lot of water, so we keep them out of element. Anyway, John, what I'm trying to say here is that you look up filibuster and you get this bullshit that is about coke and orgies. Like, ugh.
First one.
I get it.
There are 4 more to go.
I know. Okay, let's keep going. Like, I'm blowing my entire fucking wad right here, which is a bad euphemism. I apologize.
Michelle Obama and other black leaders praise, quote, historic anti-lynching law. Some say more change is needed.
Fuck that. Fuck you. Fuck that. Like, honestly, that is one of the things in the news that's made me so upset in the last like 3 weeks is like, hey, we're going to pass a law that says lynching is bad. Like, oh, are we? Oh, now? Well, I can't smoke in my goddamn office anymore. I can't slap ass to say you're doing a great job. But until this week, I could have lynched someone and it was like, you know what? We'll figure it out in a court of public appeal. What the sweet fuck?
Yeah.
This is why, and then anyone who's celebrating that shit, and you have to say something, but at the same time, you need to be angry. You need to be fucking vitriol. Like, oh, cool. You can't fucking murder us anymore. Hey, how about we get some goddamn equal rights moving forward? Maybe a goddamn pair of khakis. It's fucking something, John. Like, this is bullshit. Like, ugh.
It makes me think of Killer Mike's speech in Atlanta, or Malcolm X saying, "How can we think about civil rights when we don't even have human rights?"
Right. There's, bro, I have to. It's gonna kill me because now I should know this, but again, not only, folks, does marijuana affect the memory, but aggressively talking to John and drinking with him also affects the memory.
Huh.
There's
So I'll make myself a shot while you're looking up what you need to look at, and I think that'll help pass the time.
No, that's great. That's fantastic. There's a musician that I love called Locksmith.
Okay.
That was mine. Now I was trying to look him up, but I figure out his line was like, we forgot about Black Pride, but what about Black Power? Was the end, the punch on that, and I forget the full verse. But look up locksmith, because that's the whole thing. It's like, yeah, it's like everyone's happy, like, oh, we get it's like the Native Americans, like, oh, here, you do this, and like, cool, but what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
African Americans, anyone who's an immigrant, like, yeah, but thanks for giving me the bare minimum, but what the fuck, John?
Women,
Jesus Christ.
Thanks for 73 cents on the dollar, ?
John, let's not go there, because I feel like they're getting paid way more than they're worth. See, folks, and if you like, see, that's a joke, but John knew I was going to bite on that, and he knew he was going to cancel me. I don't agree with it, but it's a funny trope. Like, but no, the same thing, because if you look at, and it started in the 50s, and you look at the women's suffrage movement, and you look at anyone trying to break the glass ceiling in any of a female gender, and then look at females who are of color, and they're fucking twice as fucked.
Yeah.
God damn, bro.
Yeah,
like
the suffrage movement of the 20s, helped so much, got the vote, but women of color were excluded from that entire movement. The 50s with the sexual revolution into the 50s into the 60s, yes, but still, Black women were mostly excluded from those movements as well.
Right, you had to be very. There was a there was the movement of the Black Panthers of that, and you had your females involved, but it was not a right. It was a privilege to have that empowerment, to have that ability to be part of the sexual revolution. And John, what I'm trying to do in the two sides is I'm trying to start our own sexual revolution. I've been spending a lot of time with just black socks on, looking in a full-length mirror. Let's start this goddamn revolution, John.
Well, you say you want a revolution.
You say you want a revolution. Oh, my calves are cramping because I'm on my tippy toes. I gotta put the mirror down, folks.
Good thing these socks are orthopedic.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're mainly for keeping my varicose veins down, so I can have these nice compression socks. They go all the way up to my thighs. Right.
Third, we're only on number 3 now. House passes bill to limit cost of insulin to $35 a month.
Fuck them. Fuck them. A bill at that point, because... Bro, I'm telling you, because insulin for me, I don't have insulin. Because I do all of my sugar intake from strawberry lemonade and alcohol. But my dog, our insulin, I can get it through Chewy for 68. I go to my vet, it's 74. And that lasts for a month and a half. And like, okay, all right. And little known fact, but my vet told me the first time, he's like, hey, this is on the low. The human insulin still works for the dogs. So if you're in a pinch, you can use human insulin. I'm like, how is that? But now it's like, oh, it's only $35? What the sweet fuck? It's a life-saving thing. It's like the same idea, Joe. I was going to say, I'm sorry, because I'm thinking Joe Biden. I'm already said it ahead of myself. Narcan. The for anyone who has an opioid overdose, Narcan right now is like the go-to end-all be-all. It can boom, it'll stop you from OD. Yeah. You cannot buy it in the pharmacy. It is now, the FDA has stopped. You cannot get it. It's only prescribed to physicians and law enforcement officers.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There was a campaign in New York that said, here's a way to get your Narcan. They're like,
right.
Have it, even if you don't know people who use, because you might pass someone on the street and you could save their life.
Exactly, man. It's the same people who have I have my CPR license, and I used to carry the little the face mask because every time you give CPR, they will vomit. And now it's like a weird thing. You don't want vomit in your mouth. It's like, oh, cool. I'm not going to not help someone, but I'm going to have this device to help.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm going to have this device to help. Like, no, you can't. Sorry, you can't.
Yeah.
It's just our laws and our ideas, we're so archaic. We're so fucked. We're so behind the times. Like, I don't know if you've watched, what is the last man's, no, not Last Man on Earth. What is the one, shit. The guy who was in 24, who was in Flatliners.
Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah.
Who was in the show recently, who was like, he's like 14th down in the lineage, the succession of presidency.
Designated Survivor.
Designated Survivor.
Yep.
That same thing, that idea of like, the only way to get out of this shit is a designated survivor scenario, because all right, we look at this stuff of here's these generations coming out, and like, cool, we're having our old school pass on, and they're leaving the torch to the young people. Cool, we're all going to be educated and smart and thought about it. Like, the people I know, John, and the people you know, like 90% of them are good, and you're friends with 10%. Like, you're a piece of fucking shit. You're a good friend, but I can't talk to you about this, or this. But we're still family in some way, shape, or form. Yep. And you look at those people who are tenacious, who are coming and taking the reins. We're not changing anything. There's no change. Like, it's the same vitriol, the same bullshit over and over and over. I just, and you think this is why I have a drinking problem, John? No, John, this is a drinking opportunity.
Okay, so because of that, I'm going to actually skip to number 5 of the top 5 because I want to end on a good note, and we could just say this. You say what you want, if you want, or we could just move on. You ready for number 5 of when there's no filibuster popping up when I specifically put in the word filibuster for a news search on Yahoo.
Super excited, folks. And if you like the two-sided pod with no segues, then John just gave you a long-winded, unfortunate one. Let's hear what you got, John. Number 5.
And number 5 is why Republicans say they're voting against Ketanji Brown Jackson for Supreme Court.
Again, your communication skills and styles are just foreign to me. I feel like I'm going to Borneo and I'm landing on a beach. I'm like, Butu, do you want to? I don't understand. You're like, let's end on a positive. Let's talk about why Republicans are voting against Ketanji Brown.
I got number 4 in my back pocket. That's the positive.
No,
we skipped over number 4.
Okay, you said let's end on.
Right. Yeah. So great.
So that's great. So no, that's great because again, let me clarify because now I understand. John wasn't trying to shorten the segment and just let's get to the end on a positive. John was going to go to a negative first, and then float back and not shorten the segment and end on the positive one he thinks is positive.
That's right.
So, folks, if you like what you've seen here, if that's right in your life, that's right. That's right. That's right. Hit that alert button. It could be on your right. Hit that subscribe. It also could be that's right. But don't be afraid to that's right. Hit that. That's right. So, no, John, there's no fucking reason. Those sons of bitches. Because, no, John, I'm going back to it.
You're right. No. I agree with you. That was horrible that they are.
Judge Brown did not go to any parties with Squeak. She doesn't like beer. She hasn't cried or yelled. But now we're going to hear why. I know I'm not a big believer because I hate it when you do. What about? It is the now and the time. This is the place. But all of these bullshit GOP fuckers, the shit that they did literally less than a year ago, and then a year and a half ago. And they're like, well, what do you mean? Like, what are you? I'm taking fucking crazy pills because how can you say these words? And especially when people can show them clips of what they said, how they acted. Like if you played a show for me right now to dissuade me of my stupidity, like, I gotta shut the fuck up. Like my natural reaction would be shut the fuck up. But these motherfuckers are like, oh no, that was fake video. That was a different time and a different place. But a time center. Fuck them. Fuck that. Fuck you. No, John, not fuck you. Sorry, I kept going. It was a threefold. I had to get a third fuck out there.
Yeah.
You know how it is. All right, let's into that positive one.
So the last or the second to last headline, which is the best headline, House set to pass marijuana legalization Friday.
Because they already got shot down a month ago.
It's because the reason why this one popped up is because there's a huge possibility the Senate will filibuster it.
The marijuana's not in my house. It's in Mary's house. And it's in Tom's lungs. And it's in Bob's dog as an edible. And that's where all the marijuana is. Filibuster. Making marijuana work for you, folks. Mr. Smith goes to Smoketown.
Let's get off of that. All right. The next topic that we discussed was the New York State governor, parentheses for now, and parentheses Cuomo. So we talked about this in August when it happened, but I happened to go back to the April 1st first discussion of ours, first show of ours. And you know what you did, Pete? You prophet, you Cassandra, you made Andrew Cuomo like touching on somebody joke in the first 15 minutes of our show. Look at you.
Right.
Look at you. April and then August, it finally came out so much that he got himself boo.
Telling you, come on, man. The thing is, I'm not smart. I'm not proud. I'm not too pretty, but I'm right 90% of the time. It's a two-sided. It's the John and the Pete. It's the me and the you, baby. Yeah, you might not like it. It may be hard to swallow. You are going to have nightmares tonight, but I promise you it will come true. And if it doesn't, I owe you a shot.
That's right. So a very brief update of the Cuomo brothers, or the brothers Cuomo, if you will. Andrew, the disgraced, resigned governor, is thinking of running for governor of New York State again and is gaining traction. Chris, his younger brother, who was suspended from CNN for an investigation of how much he helped his brother hide all the allegations against him, was officially fired this week.
Yeah, but if you think he's not going to be picked up somewhere else, you're so mistaken. At that point, because someone's going to pick him up just for either noteworthy, newsworthy, oh, you're crazy as shit. That's going to get people listening. Yeah, of course you're going to do it. Or, you're still a good journalist and you're a piece of shit. So yeah, come on. He's fine.
Yeah. It just happened to be the moment of time because this speculation of his older brother, who was the disgraced one, and had many people fired for helping him out. Many people fired, including the CEO of Time's Up, that organization. She was resigned in shame because of him. He is thinking of running for the same thing that he just resigned from.
You need to clarify, because you said multiple people were fired because of him. No, they were not. You just said that she resigned in shame. Right. So there's a twofer, John. Like, you got to understand and don't be one of the ones who spouts nonsense. I'm the one who spouts nonsense. Stay in your lane. There was
his
people
younger
who
brother
were fired.
was fired. His younger
Correct.
brother.
The one person, not multiple people. Multiple people quit their jobs, resigned, moved on to avoid any kind of issue.
Right.
As far as firing, even Cuomo, Andrew did not get fired.
He resigned.
So correct. So, John, I need you to be clear and concise, especially when we're talking shit like this, because you, my legalistic friend, that you don't understand these things makes me very worried about your whole sight line in life.
Well, the reason why it's a little blurred in my vocabulary right there is because these the 3 women who were fired, or I'm sorry, who resigned, happen to be part of not-for-profit organizations. And what happens with not-for-profit organizations when someone resigns is that the board says, you need to resign or we will publicly oust you and it will be much worse for you. So they are given that option. CNN doesn't have, it's not, it's a corporation. It had to fire him.
Are you kidding me? Are you an idiot? John, like this, I'm going to check you on, because literally as an employee who has been an employee of a major public organization and nonprofit, you as an employee have the exact same, a bit like, okay, if I don't leave this nonprofit, the board is telling me they're going to fuck me. If I see this writing coming on the wall from my major corporate organization, if I don't resign, they're going to fuck me. You as a person always have a choice: resign or you're going to be fired. He did too. At CNN, he did too at a nonprofit. Always check, like, everyone has a choice. Yeah. And like, do I believe in what I did? And am I going to stand up in the public eye and say, fuck you, I'm correct? Or are you going to tuck tail and try to save face? And if you do, fucking Cuomo was trying to push his shit at CNN. The smartest thing, it's the same thing as Tubin, who fucking the jerk off master. Like, he didn't get fired, he resigned. And then got no more things, and they let him come back.
Yeah.
It's a different thing, John, that it's not about if it's CNN or if it's nonprofit, if you have a goddamn head on your shoulders or you don't. If you see the writing on the wall and you think like, I can fucking handle this storm, or it's like, I can't. It's all about fucking your self-worth and your grandiose impression.
Yeah.
He thought he could fight this and win and be an anchor on CNN again. No, motherfucker. Can't. They fired you. They gave you a chance to quit for 2 months, 3 months.
8 months. It was 8 months after the resignation.
Well, after that, but of the times when they really put the needles to him, John.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the same thing as when everything came out against the nonprofits. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you want to put your feet on the fire, or are you going to like take your severance and we're going to give you 2 years pay? We're going to give you your retirement. We're going to give you this, because I promise you all, those nonprofits paid fucking severance packages.
Yeah.
So do you want the money and the walking papers, or do you want to fucking take this to court? It's not rocket surgery, John. I've surgicaled many a rocket, and none of them lived through the operating table procedures.
Weird how that happens.
Am I right? I'm right. Right? That's right.
So we have a few more, and we've been talking for a bit, so I'm just gonna go
hammer through. I hope.
The next topic we talked about is Einstein, and that's relevant. Einstein's spooky action at a distance. Einstein's spooky action at a distance. We talked about it many a times since we talked about it back in August. And the update is D-Wave's cross-platform quantum computing services are a bridge to the future. So a new kind of computing service, using quantum physics, using Einstein's spooky action at a distance, quantum entanglement, is actually its cross-platform computing services are the bridge to the future.
All right, folks. So I had a hard time following that because he stuttered a lot and kept talking loud. So I guess this is a great time to tell you we're sponsored by Casper Mattresses. Mattresses you sleep on, brought to you by Ghosts. Hey, do you want to sleep on a ghost mattress? Come on down, Casper Mattresses. They're spooky as fuck. Einstein would sleep on them. Come on, Casper Mattresses. John, I have nothing to say about this because you are so goddamn tuned in and you're excited, and I heard your voice change, and I want nothing to do with it. Moving on.
Next one, California's governor recall election. When we talked about it, it was slightly before it happened, and then it happened. And the headlines this week are Fox News hires Caitlyn Jenner as contributor, who debuts on Hannity tonight. That's right, tonight, March the 31st, 2022. Second headline, and only other headline. Newsom didn't meet with farm workers on Cesar Chavez Day. One internet cat is irate.
Well, okay, in his defense, he thought it was Cesar Millan Day, and he went to go rehabilitate dogs and train people. So he didn't know that there was a whole migrant workers thing. He's like, no, I come, I rehabilitate dogs, I train people. It's very good. And then like, oh, Chavez, shit. And it was already too late. He's like, well, can't make it to the vineyard now.
So I had to look a little bit more into this. And it's Jorts. Jorts is an internet feline, fluffy and orange, who really, really loves organized labor and trash cans, which he falls into on a regular basis. And his sister Jean, who tries to stay off social media. But Jorts does not like Newsom or his treatment of farm workers.
Actively hate you for finding that and looking at it and reporting it and putting people onto a cat named Jorts, because I'm sure you know as a cat owner, your cat's a fucking drungo. It has no opinions about shit. Can I sleep? Can I eat something? Can you not fuck with me or look at me? You know what? I think that Newsom in the Labor Party, I'm more of a Tory guy myself. Fuck you, kitty cat. You ain't coming around here. Fuck that shit.
So the next topic is that we talked about was the Supreme Court. What I have to say about that is we still have it.
Oh, that's great. That's great, because I have that fucking Jeannie Davis is texting from on January 6th from no, good. Moving on. Great.
The next one is inheritance. That's right, inheritance and the laws around it throughout the history and into today. And what I have about that is we still have it.
Yeah, that's great. No, I inherited my dad's fucking anger issues and his high blood pressure. Fuck you, Pops. I want the money and the goddamn Porsche.
Two left. Gun laws and what the Supreme Court decision means. We discussed the New York State versus two guys who wanted a gun concealment permit and didn't get it.
Keep going.
And there's nothing new. They haven't decided, or they've decided, but they haven't given it out yet. So instead, I looked at a headline when putting it into the Yahoo News, and it says, "Justices decide for themselves when to step aside from cases." That was the headline I picked up.
Man, again, like I'm with you, like 'cause I'm in that moment, but I'm now like, I'm only going to talk about some things from our shows that I had, like. When you look something up and there's no news, like, well, I'm going to look at the headlines. Like, you fucking drungo. Like,
interesting headlines.
No, it's not. No, because that headline could have applied to actively any of the other ones previously. It was like, I got nothing to say here. It's like, well, the giving tree keeps on giving. Thanks, Charles Silverstein. Like, what are you talking about? What does that goddamn mean? Ugh. Go ahead. Keep going. What's the next one?
And finally, our one exception for the shows that are on Spotify, when we talked about serial killers. And I more looked at the different definitions and people who have caused mass death throughout history. And I have an update on two different just statistics. I'm not even applying people to them. Ready? Great.
Keep going. Yeah.
COVID deaths in the U.S. as of today, million plus. And civilian deaths caused from the Russia invasion in Ukraine, over 1,200 as of a few days ago.
Jesus.
But today, reports of Russian soldiers leaving Chernobyl after exposure, after they were exposed to radiation.
But that has been happening last. But I don't understand. Again, you're not good at your job. Remember, because you took so much time, we did a thing on serial killers about what definitions and how the serial killers. Also, we're going to look at the bubonic plague. We're going to look at the Titanic failure. We're going to look at Chernobyl, the first disaster. The soldiers coming out of Chernobyl now, and also Ukrainians, because Ukrainians are great, right? What the fuck are you doing, John? Great COVID deaths. Yeah, we fucking killed a lot of people from this stupid shit. How do you think the scarlet fever, the bubonic plague, the Spanish flu, what do you think those happened? Were you equating those to serial killers? No, you're not. What do you think about every war?
No,
what about Vietnam War? John, what about the Vietnam War? What about the Kosovo? What about Desert Storm, Desert Shield? What about the War of 1812, John? One of my favorite songs. What about that? Da, 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 boom! Tell me about those deaths and how those equate to your serial killer story. Because it doesn't, and fuck you for trying to make that fucking... Go ahead. I'm ready.
All I'm saying is when we originally talked about serial killers, we brought up some dictators or rulers that did it through design, saying this is the political way, and I'm going to move all the people from the city out into the country.
Correct. We're talking correct. Pol Pot and fucking Mao Zedong. Yes, John. Continue. Get your story straight.
So to politicize the virus as opposed to things like the plague, which was never politicized, or anthrax, or SARS, or any other.
No, because they didn't have fucking media, social media, or newspapers about that time. All the newspapers. Right. The newspapers were all there, but how many people could read? What big of a distribution was it? It never came out. The Black Plague, the Spanish flu, if you could read and you had those flyers, it was there, John. Right. So again, it is no different because fucking Will Smith slapped someone on a goddamn stage the other day, and it is the biggest goddamn story in the world. Do you think if fucking Robert Redford took a shit on the stage, like Jack Palance did a one-arm push-up after fucking when he won for Blazing or not Blazing Saddles. Fuck. Billy Crystal on the range and fuck shit.
City Slickers.
He won. And he came up and did one-arm push-ups. No one saw that. I make that reference, but it wasn't. There was no internet. There was no things. Go back to your bubonic plague. Right. Tell me how much scurvy you know about. Scurvy times? It was not because you had goddamn citrus on your boats, John. You ginger fuck. It's all about the timing and the place. It doesn't matter serial killers or not. We didn't even define serial killers till the 80s. It's all about definition and ability to share the information. And you, by pulling that information up, you have made us all stupider, and may God have mercy on your soul. Ugh. That's right.
So that's not right. What I feel is that the definition we gave serial killers back in the 80s from the FBI is actually too limiting. And that's what I was trying to do with the first segment. And all I was doing is looking at other examples.
So anything that kills people, human or not,
any policy that causes many more deaths than that would have happened otherwise. Looking at two industrialized countries like, I don't know, Canada and the U.S. that are actually connected by a huge border, and the huge difference of the death rate of one to the other is one thing that I was looking at. And then war itself and the causing of war and how much civilian death has happened in such a small amount of time because of that invasion is another thing I was looking at, just like I looked at with those historical figures.
Okay, you're reaching like a motherfucker. You're like Stretch Armstrong right now. So I can get the policy procedures for medical things as far as Canada versus the US, Australia and New Zealand, China versus South America. I get it. I get that. You did not give any intro. You did not communicate any of those words until I pressed you like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
But now you're going to say wars? You don't get to say, because they invaded something, John, because now, once again, you could talk about any war. The Civil War, the Revolutionary War, Cambodia. You can literally say anything you want, like, because these people did the thing. No. Every single war doesn't mean that there's a mass murder. Every single war means there's mass death. Every single war means there's a loss of life as civilians and soldiers 90% of the time. But it doesn't always mean and equate to that. You could have the same thing as like when you're in the Middle East. There were soldier troops who did horrible fucking shit. Our policies were bad. You had great soldiers there who were doing great work, but you had people who were fucking slaughtering, just like in Vietnam. You have bad apples everywhere. So I don't want you to bring war into the mass murder thing, because that is a whole different ball of wax, baby.
Okay. Yeah. And we talked a little bit about those exact things that you were saying of those who were, you could say just following orders, that has a connotation, but those who were just being, a soldier and were honorable and not killing random civilians, and those who were doing the exact opposite on every end. We talked about that, right? But you're correct. I agree with you. Yeah, it is so varied in the all the variables that go into it. Even though there might be one person who's behind the trigger of an invasion, for us, we could say look at Bush and in Iraq, right? Yeah.
Right. So we said let's not talk about war anymore. So we're talking about policy stuff, and because war is a different beast. So we said let's not talk about it. So what's your next one?
Oh, that's it. That's the end of.
Then your next thought. Like, you don't have to have a next fact. You can have a next thought after we said no war. You're like, well, war and the thing about, hey, let's not talk about this. Yeah, let's not talk about the war and dictators and soldiers are. We're not talking about it. I know, but let's move on. There's nothing more. There's only the things I'm talking about over and over that you said not to.
That's right.
That's right.
I do have something new. So if you like what you're listening to now, there is more two-sided out there. I have a regular spiel that I do, and I'm looking at it right now. But the only thing I really want to talk about is we've gone viral, and so we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And now Apple Podcasts, you've been able to rate us, and we'd really like it if you did that. But now on Spotify, just as of recently, you're able to rate us there as well. And we'd really like if you'd both subscribe and rate us. 5 stars is great. It doesn't hurt you at all. Only helps us. But it'll get us out there. We thank you kindly.
Goddamn. No, actively, I don't like any of this. Like, my spiel is like, we've gone vitriol. There's a virus among us. If you subscribe and like, may God have mercy on your soul. If you tell your friends, they will pay the price. And I feel like that's what you need to do. We thank you kindly. Well, howdy. God damn it, John. Can we have a drink and move on?
Let's have a drink.
More fun and less.
Please, let's do it right now.
Yeah, look at him. anyone who's on the YouTube right now, you can see John get actively more red and upset because he's like, no, I will stop talking and just chew my lip and become red and ginger. Like, your face becomes your hair color, you stupid bastard. All right, I love you.
That's a treat for everyone.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, how is mantra working out for you? Cheers.
No, I left it by the wayside last week because it just made me more vitriol. Cheers.
We're going to move right along into our next lightning round. I think you spoke over that.
I heard. Yeah, no, you literally need to figure that out because if I have any sound.
3, 2, 1, and we're going to move right into our next lightning round.
The engineer in this room is the worst. He has his own audio issues. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
I'm just okay. I'm ready. Go ahead.
Well, this lightning round is one of your favorites and mine. It's commercials. That's right. And we've taken commercials from throughout the year and see if my boy Pete can drum up a better commercial for these said products or services.
That's horseshit right there because everything I did was goddamn comedic gold the first time through. So how dare you naysay and say nay against me? Oh, no, sir. I say no, sir. Okay, I'm ready. Go ahead.
The first product is Cup of Gingers.
I remember this one because like you're just saying things that you want to hear. Like people love gingers. Maybe if he has a cup of them, he'll say good things about them. Hey, folks, have you ever wanted to punch one ginger in the face and it just wasn't enough? Well, now for only $14.95, you can get a whole cup full of gingers and you punch every one of them motherfuckers in the face when you open that cup. Punch that cup full of gingers. Fuck those gingers. See, I get drunk and you make me do this, and now I'm angry and like this is why my mother is telling me I'm out of the will because I'm vitriol against gingers. Why are you doing this to me? I could have had something. I could have had a nice house.
If you like that, this next one's gonna be great. The Jamestown Kool-Aid.
But again, John, like you need to, folks. If you liked the first round when we did the commercials, and I brought up issues about John, you can't just say words and say do a commercial. Aluminum siding at your mom's house. Like you can say a thing, but you can't say in astronaut shoes at the mall for $1 that people like. Like what? I know I yelled at you about this because John, put your goddamn microphone down. We're in the middle of a conversation. You stupid bastard.
Hey,
do you remember me yelling at you?
We at Two-Sided would really like to thank our next sponsor, Jamestown Kool-Aid.
Well, folks, it's a hard day. It's a hot afternoon here on the tundra in a two-sided life that you know and love. Well, if there's nothing more thirst-quenching, more delightful, more brow-sopping than a nice, big, fat Jamestown Kool-Aid. And I can promise you, if you're listening to this podcast, you've already drank that goddamn Kool-Aid. It ain't good. It will kill you. But all of our labels are non-MGMO. We believe in equal rights for equal pay. And we support Cup of Gingers because punch every goddamn cup of gingers you can. Thanks from all your family here at Jamestown Kool-Aid.
Thanks, Jamestown Kool-Aid. Hey, this next sponsor is really near and dear to our hearts. They've been helping us out. They're sponsoring us for a while. Pete, can you tell us about Speedies? You know, the breakfast joint that also sells cocaine.
Hey, John! John! Oh, breakfast! Oh, man. Okay. If you like to get up early, and if you have the stomach for breakfast, but usually if you're up this late, you haven't had your breakfast, and it's like, I'm just saying, maybe we have cocktail. But the thing is, Speedy's breakfast also has beer, wine coolers, wine draft coolers, waters, orange juice, also other juices, things that will help you make your mouth not feel so dry. But also, come down to Speedy's Cafe, because sometimes you want to have breakfast with your mom. You're like, Mom, hey, Mom, it's your special day. Also my special day. Can we have breakfast? She's like, I don't know, you sound weird. I know, Mom. Come on, let's go have breakfast. And you're like, I can't eat. But you can have juice, and that way you're not going to. Speedies. Come on, bring your mom. Better.
And finally, we got a real special treat for everybody. This is not so much a sponsor, but just an announcement. My boy Pete, would you like to tell everybody about the two-sided podcast swag that we have coming for them?
Again, like it's fun because you don't tell me, and I don't like to know, and I don't want to talk to you about things. But when you don't have good communication skills, it makes me very angry about everything. And my choices, and your choices, and my friendship choices, and your life choices in communicating, all of those things are bad, folks. And that's the first T-shirt that you can buy from the Two-Sided Pod swag bag. If you don't like, and you're not sure, and I'm unsure, and I don't like you, but I'm pretty sure about this, the less you know on the backside. Also, it has a pocket for all your pens. Did I say pens? I did say pens. They look like pens, but they're also COVID tests. But you have to pee on them to see if you're pregnant. COVID tests by Pens Are Us. Two-sided. Don't be afraid to pee on one side, right with the other. Pens Are Us. Also, anything that John can find in his pockets in Michigan, the Dirty Mitten, he will send to you. If you write us an email at the twosidedpod@gmail.com, that's TWO sidedpod@gmail.com, he will send you whatever in his pockets at that time from our P.O. Box, which is P.O. Box Two-Sided, TWO sided at P.O. Box, New York, 11211. Get yours today.
I think we found a groove at a certain point. We found a groove there.
Yeah, something, but I'm still angry about your choices in life. Like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm ready to move on. Like, I feel like this is how I felt when Chris Farley died.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big tragedy, but I'm okay to move on, and we can still be funny after this point. But a travesty has befallen all of us, John.
Shout out to Chris Farley.
Shout out to my boy Travesty. What up, Travesty? Oh, that's Travis D. Sorry.
We're jumping into our final segment of the evening. That's right. We're going to look over a year worth of fun segments and do our 1 year anniversary reviews with them.
Yeah, they'll be super quick, probably too.
Yeah.
Get with the program, John.
What's great about this one is that I've decided to do no research, and we're just going to talk. So our first segment that really piqued your interest and mine is we had a two-parter on this. It was aliens. Do you remember that? Remember that little talk about aliens?
My mom always said I could be anything I wanted to be when I grew up, and I wanted to be an illegal alien. So I've been spending a lot of my time north of the border, just roaming around the Great White North, hoping to get picked up. Thus far, no dice.
Weird. They don't have the same laws as they did in Arizona.
I know, but again, Arizona doesn't have moose or mounties. They have cowboys and crank. Yeah. Horrible. We
talked a little bit about Fire in the Sky, And you actually knew someone involved in the incident that created that movie, right?
That's correct. Henry's substitute teacher from Snowflake, Arizona, who was the guy taken. And Henry was, he was like, nah, he was crazy as shit. Their whole family, but it's the same thing in Arizona. Like, see, okay, the Foxes know, but they're in the major city. Like, but if you go out in like the southeast, or you go out like, oh, we're gonna go to Payson, or we're gonna go to like Sholo, or like something way
Strawberry.
Strawberry, like something deep in the like, ooh wee. Like, you can scream for help, ain't nobody gonna hear your cries. That was why I moved to Safford. Ain't nobody gonna hear your cries. And then once I realized like I was the only one crying, I'm like, I gotta move back. That's it. But anything in those, like Henry was like, yeah, it could have been. But at the same time, everybody up here is crazy as a shithouse rat. So it's like they're all nuts. Like the whole family was nuts. The brothers, the people, like, and then he was nuts before, he was nuts after. Like, yeah, it could have been, but I don't know.
No.
That's right.
Next topic, heroes. And the question I have is, do you remember your first or one of your first childhood heroes?
Yeah, it was. There was Salami, Provolone, Capicola.
Very Italian.
Oh my God! With a nice Italian dressing and some slaw. Oh, mwah. I'm telling you what, that shit delightful. No, I believe that. No, true. Like honestly, like first hero. Like if you're thinking of like early childhood, is like what you're going back to. It would be like Mark McGuire, or shit. Goddamn, I'm getting old. The first baseman from the Giants at the same time, Will something. Anyway, it was Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco, and Will something. He was the Giants' first baseman. But I was so into baseball and so into like I can't run fast, so I can't play soccer or football. I got a good arm and a good eye, so I was all about baseball until I was in middle school. Yeah. Until I like, oh, now I can aggressively hit people and take all my anger and my childhood and stuff on people. Oh, football's the way to go. Oh, Jesus Christ, football. Yeah. I regret, honestly, though, John. I regret growing up where I did and not having any introduction to rugby until I was in college. And then in college, like you kind of watch it, but literally rugby is, I feel like, what I would need to play. Like it's no pads and aggressive. Like, oh, you're bleed. You're gonna fuck shit up.
Yep.
My favorite thing after high school, like in high school, I was playing football, but we played for City League. Our like core group of guys, 6 of us, played flag football for the City League. No pads, just jerseys and flags. And I was like, this is great. Oh my God, we can knock people out. Like as long as you have your arms to your sides, like you can pick them up off the ground. It was brilliant. Brilliant. So rugby, bro. I feel like my hero would have been a rugby player, but I don't know anymore.
The All Blacks are an amazing rugby team from New Zealand.
Yeah, but fucking New Zealand, man.
That's true. Mine was Albert Einstein. That was my childhood hero.
Yeah, no.
And
we know.
Gene Wilder as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I get it. That totally makes sense. Someone who looks like you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone who looks like you, who made an impression on the world, and someone who was weird and spooky, who was using their brain for good and not evil. Yeah, of course you'd feel better about yourself, you dummy. Yeah, we get it.
The weird thing is, it wasn't because of Willy Wonka as so much as it was See No Evil, Hear No Evil, and Stir Crazy. We had those VHS growing up. I loved his partnership with Richard Pryor.
See No Evil, Hear No Evil, but my favorite is the Silver
Blue
Bullet.
Streak. Oh, okay.
Silver Streak. That's my favorite. That's super good. He keeps getting thrown off the train and coming back and thrown off the train. Like, what the fuck is happening? So good. So good.
All right. Next one we talked about, and this upset you, so if we want to move on, we can. Summer concerts. So we talked about it at the beginning of last summer, and it's now getting to the beginning of this summer. I have nothing. I don't know what summer concerts are happening. So the question I have is, what is one of your favorite memories of summer concerts?
One of my memories, and I don't remember me being upset, but you saying I was upset, now I feel like I need to be upset at you.
Oh, no, I said too much.
No, actively, you said too much or not enough. Oh, no, you said too much. That's John in the spotlight, and he has lost all goddamn religion. Folks, if you like what you've seen, if you can't believe that we're still here after a year, hit that subscribe, hit that like button. If you're listening on stereo, hit that button above that takes us to our link. If you're watching us listen to us on stereo or Apple Podcasts, and Apple TV, and Apple, it's the American way. American is baseball and methamphetamines. Like, just hit that button. We'll be here for you.
And you can rate us now too.
Yeah, and I rate you as a 1, John. I don't know. Does that lower our rating if I fuck you, John, and I do 1s all the time?
Yeah, it actually does.
I have a whole email farm out of Bangladesh that is going to rate you as 1, so you feel bad about yourself. But if it also affects me, I need to think about it. That's right.
Do you want to say anything about
John, folks? One of the things I'd like to say at this time is I jump on John's case about his drinking, because like, he drinks so much water, and he was watching, like, it's aggressive, and he's going to do it more because that's John's jam, and then probably he'll dance for you later and like show that he's like, oh, I'm holding a baby, a big. Anything I say, he'll do, which is aggressive. Fucking aggressive. But folks, what I need to say about great summer concerts, because I lost my way, I was so seeing red that I actively stopped thinking normal human thoughts, and I was like, if I could get my goddamn hands around him, fuck him. But folks, if you've got to go to a concert, I highly recommend going to a festival and not taking John with you, because water costs $10 a bottle, and John is a goddamn camel. That's all I'm going to say.
Next topic is whiskey versus rum. Only update I have is whiskey's still better.
Yeah, it's bullshit, because I have 2 bottles of rum that say different. Fuck you, John. I don't think you realize who you're dealing with. You're kind of what we call the business. You're an amateur. You're like the one who, like, I like whiskey on St. Patty's Day, and I go drink at a bar in public. You don't have a drinking problem, John. You have a drinking idea. You have something that I'm like, I'm trying to make my way in the world. Takes everything you got. Hoping to waive all your worries. Sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Yep, I think you would. Sometimes you want to go where everybody drinks rum. Bum, 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 bum. 'Cause whiskey is stupid dumb. Bum, bum. You want to be where pirates drink. Troubles are all the same. You want to be where all the rum is insane.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bum.
No, the song ended. And now we have to pay royalties, John. I do 16 bars, and then you fuck it up, and now we pay royalties. And that's how we make no money with the show.
It's that 17th bar. Hey. Crap.
Right? Keep on acting and singing all of your goddamn rest of your bullshit, John. God damn.
Cheers to everyone listening. Next topic is Australia not real.
Oh, that's my favorite. It is, but it isn't. I have proof that it is. I have active proof it isn't. So I'm kind of at a conundrum. I'm at an impasse, John. Anyone who knows us, sees us, who watched this show on YouTube Live knows that we start the beautiful show with one of the top 10 hits from our Down Under brothers, Mr. V. And it's brilliant. I've looked him up. I've stayed in the bushes and watched him from his home, and I see there is a continent of Australia, and I get it. It's great. It's fantastic. However, anyone who knows us knows there's an Aussie Dave out there. Turns out Aussie Dave fell off the map, and I'm pretty sure he's from Brazil. So I think he's a bot and really taking us in for the good fucking ball.
Right. So, you're showing that there is proof of Australia not being real because the Aussie Dave bot is broken, where the Mr. V
Correct.
bot is still working.
Correct. I mean, it's a twofer. It's like right now, like what world do you want to live in? It's like the John L. Peacock of an idea of like comedy. Like what they both exist. It's Schrodinger's cat. It's like Australia exists until you open the continent. You're like, that Aussie's dead. I'm fucked. I killed the Aussie. Versus, it's actively existing in both realms until you confirm. And right now, John, I'm not ready to confirm. I like to live in the ether and in the beginnings.
Let it oscillate. Let it oscillate.
Oscillate. Yeah, that's right.
Next question. Next topic that we discussed was who moved Pete's cheese. Now we discussed all the things around that interesting headline, but we actually never really asked the question, and so I'm asking it now. Who moved Pete's cheese?
It's a serious question, John. Because we could go to right to the point of where my cheese was moved and I became the goddamn beefing you see before you. However, as a learned man, as a man about town, as you call it, as an alcoholic with a destination, I see a little deeper. I'm thinking possibly I was either hugged too much or not enough as a child, and it was ingratiated into me. The cheese being moved, and you're looking for the affirmation, the confirmation, instead of the consternation that you're so readily receiving. However, I was pretty fucking good broken until I was broken. So I'm going to go ahead and say that my cheese was moved right around the time that Die Hard 3 came out, which was aggressively unfortunate on the Die Hard level and in my personal life. Also, I don't know if you knew this, Bruce Willis has aphasia.
He's no longer going to act. Yes, I know.
Yeah, because Bruce Willis has aphasia, and you're like, he's going to act. Like, how is that going to work? So I'm interested if the other was true, you stupid drunk. Like,
well,
hey, look, he lost his,
had a little earpiece.
He lost his legs. He's not going to run marathons anymore.
Oh, wait. No, that actually can't. Never mind. That's a different.
Right.
Not the best example. Not the best example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Folks, if you've never met a ginger and you don't want to meet one anymore, hit that subscribe and like and keep them away from your life, because this is the only one you need in your life, and it's not good. I promise you. I'll take the hit for the whole fucking team. Hit that subscribe. Hit that alert.
Next topic we looked at is Simpsons and satire, and the question I have for this is, who takes on the mantle?
Again, you have done research and you've thought about your thought process. The words you said did not compute with me or our listeners, so I'm going to ask you nicely, without calling you names, to use your words to explain a little more and give some depth of what you are fucking asking.
Sure. So the topic that we discussed in the past over this last year was looking at how Simpsons has been a champion of satire, a specific form of comedy that is very socio-politically relevant and useful in culture. And so now the question is...
relevant, not irrelevant. Relevant.
Relevant, yeah, that's what I said, yeah. And the question now is, who is going to continue that mantle of satirical understanding and satirical comment?
Okay, so you don't understand that Simpsons is still actively being produced and showing up on Sundays. Okay, so that is still happening. So you're saying that Simpsons has lost that mantle, is what you're proffering, yes?
You could say that Simpsons could be the one to take up the mantle continually if you wanted, but there's a big debate that's saying that even though Simpsons is still currently on, that it is no longer the one that is forwarding that kind of satire.
See, this is how we verbally communicate.
Yeah.
This is how we verbally communicate. So, who's taking up the mantle, Simpsons or satire? Like, Simpsons is still here. Simpsons can, if we have discussed, they are the ones who have done everything.
Correct.
If you're saying, the question would be, are there other shows? Are there other productions that you think exceed the Simpsons' ability to show the satire that we're truly living in? Is that what you're asking?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Wow. That's great. Folks, I also translate sign language for public speeches. I translate Drungo for gingers and stupid for John. Jesus Christ. Solar opposites.
Okay.
And the beautiful thing about this is because John is asking questions like a brand new public defender where he doesn't know the answer to. In a court of law, you always ask the questions you know the answer to. John's like, what is that? I said words that no one understood, and you clarified, and you said words that I don't understand. And actively, it makes me feel stupider as a person being part of this conversation.
Continue.
Holy shit. Solar Opposites. It's done by the Dan Harmon from Rick and Morty. It's on Hulu. It's about aliens who come to the universe, to Earth, and try to. It's like Third Rock from the Sun as a cartoon, and they're full on aliens. And the shit that happens, like, what do you mean we can't do that? And like all of the idiosyncrasies of like, that's weird. What is that? It's just a spotlight on how stupid we live and how it's just brilliant. It's just, if you're asking me, John, but you're asking questions you don't know the answer to because you don't watch TV. So you're like, if you're actively asking, can you fill me in? Because I need to get my TV guide listing filled in so I know what to watch because I don't know. I'm asking questions and I'm a big ginger fuck. If you're asking that, then the answer is solar opposites. If you're not sure and you're just spouting off from the hip, go back to your goddamn table and do your goddamn research.
Next topic is what's up with podcasts. So we were, as a podcast, an emerging podcast, we were discussing different podcasts and the history of it mostly. And now the only question I have is, what are some podcasts that new podcasts that you're enjoying there, my boy Pete?
I don't have time for that shit anymore. I'm a goddamn adult. I moved on with my life. I don't play with toy guns anymore. I play with real guns, John. I talk real truth. This is talk hard, talk fast. I'm pretty much like pump up the volume as a podcaster. I am the Christian Slater of the Two-Sided Podcast. Talk hard. All the good themes have been taken to turn to the theme parks, John. Let's get in the Jeep and goddamn make this podcast happen on the road. That's what I think of a podcast, John. That's what I think.
Our final look is one more exception to the shows that have been on Spotify. 2 of the 3 of these have been, we over the past year have looked at recent amazing and historic comedians who have passed. And we could just give a shout out or maybe a couple of our favorite moments, starting with Norm Macdonald.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't like shout outs. I don't like the idea of shout outs. And if you're trying to do a retrospect of who we lost over the year, I don't like that either. So I don't know what you're trying to do.
Okay. Then I'm just going to say, if you want to know a little bit more of, our thoughts and our look back at the lives and works of Norm Macdonald, Betty White, and Bob Saget, those are in our stereo shows. 2 of the 3 are also on Spotify, and they were amazing people. And I'm glad we talked about them. And I'm going to give a shout out to them. There you go.
Yeah, that's great. That's fantastic for you. Again, it's the 2 sides of everything. And I was like, oh, that's where you're wrong. And we need to move on because we don't do this Academy Awards like people we've lost over the year and retrospect that. We don't shout out because that's like big ups to my friend John. Easy there. Like, easy there, fly girl. Were you the fucking J-Lo, the fucking living color? Fuck you, John. Get with the program. No. Jesus Christ.
And on that note, shout out to shout outs. That's something that we had early on. It kind of went by the wayside. I think I should bring it back.
No. This is where John starts like, oh, I'm holding a baby. I'm dancing. I'm a bacon. I'm doing things that, these are things I'm saying don't do. Until it's like, oh, I'll do that, but it'll be funny. This is one of those things. No shout outs to shout outs. No. All right. Oh, Foxy Lady. If you're all done, let's play some messages, John, because you're Jesus Christ.
Let's do it.
Rum and whiskey. I mean, there's a reason he's called the captain.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be real.
Ahoy, hoy, hoy! That's what I'm saying. Our flag means death. None shall pass. Be warned are you by me, says I. None shall pass.
Think of it like the Matrix, right? Like we're in the Matrix. Australia is like the junior matrix. Like you have to go through the Australia bubble before you get to the rest of the world bubble.
Bro, I'm
and then
with
I
you.
get away to the real world. I don't know how that works.
This is what you're saying is literally what Mormonism is. It's the veil of unconsciousness, which is we call Australia. We make it all the way to the two-sided pod, which is the great and spacious building where everyone is fucking and sucking and getting fucked up, and all the people are having their souls sucked out to hell. And that is when it comes full circle. If you can make it to Australia, to the two-sided, you just conquered religion, my friend. You just nailed it.
You just got through samsara into nirvana, my friend.
Right, and this is how we're going to do the two-sided religious college. We're going to do you want to be a deacon? Well, deacon you can, reverend you can't. Come on over the two-sided college. God and stuff. You like God? Well, we like stuff. Come on down.
The sources for this episode of Two-Sided have been For the Serious, Us, and random headlines from Yahoo searches of each topic name, because screw Google. And on that note, if you want to give us any new topics or suggest coming on to any of our shows, email us at twosidedpod@gmail.com. That's TWO sidedpod@gmail.com.
All of my retorts have been funded by Hey Jeeves. Ask Jeeves was broken, so he said, "Hey Jeeves," he said, "Be Little John in these ways." Thanks, Jeeves. You're so cool. And that was my research.
And the sources for the fun look back has only been us. Hey, that was fun, right?
No, again, I feel like you're starting to realize that this is fun. Like, it's not fun when you're like, let's revisit fun. This isn't fun. Do you understand that your idea of fun and serious is broken? And that is what our show is based on, your broken idea of life? Jesus Christ.
Hey, my boy Pete, over the past year of episodes, is there anything that you want to take a second look at, as a second glance, a second opinion? This is Pete's Retraction Corner, year edition.
No, the year edition. I feel like at this point, John, I need to go ahead and change it up. It's going to be Pete's Contraction Corner, because I have so many pains and aches and things I need to get out of my system. Like they say, push, push, push. I breathe. I went to Lamaze, Pete's Contraction Corner training, and I'm still not able to pass this goddamn. I'm crowning right now. But there's a fine line, John. There's a truly fine line. Yeah, I adore you as a friend. You are so infuriating as an engineer co-host. I appreciate you, but you must be destroyed or taught a lesson somehow, some way, shape, or form. I can get through this. Let me finish. I just feel like in the next year, we're going to give birth to a beautiful baby bouncing ball of some bullshit. And I need you to be there for it, John. I don't need you to fucking, hey, Daddy Johnny L. Peacock likes to fucking pantomime whenever he hears words. No, little junior piece of shit. That is not what happens in life. Focus on Daddy, my boy Pete, who's angry, vitriol, and has things to say, instead of pantomimes. You know, miming is actually the lowest form of comedy. Miming, magicians, improv, stand-up, comedians. There we go. Now, I'm just saying, John is going to the basest level. Daddy Johnny, I know, Daddy Johnny Two Thumbs, because who? This guy is not who you need to look at. My bouncing ball of baby bullshit. This is what we need to focus on. Let's get better in the next year. And if you don't, may God have mercy on your soul, because this kid will get adopted, John. That's for sure.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We have our open chat show on stereo every Tuesday, same time as tonight. So if you'd like to join us or want to throw some topics out there, email twosidedpod@gmail.com. That's TWO sidedpod@gmail.com. And remember to join us on stereo in the green room right now in 5 minutes at 45 after the hour for our after show wind down. That's a wrap for tonight. I'm John L. Peacock from Brooklyn, New York, currently in the Dirty Mitten.
I'm John Peacock's friend in Southern California. The L is missing when he traveled from New York to the Dirty Mitten. And this is the Two-Sided Pod.
This was our show. You can listen to our shows wherever you get your podcasts. You can also join us live on your YouTube on our YouTube channel, which is Two-Sided Podcast, and on the Stereo app every Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, as we talk about the two sides of life, the fun and the serious, here on Two-Sided.
And you can also...
One year in.
You can also... Don't be afraid if you get arrested to use your one phone call to call in the Two-Sided Pod. That's 555-1212. That's 555-1212. Don't be afraid. We will come bail your ass out. Come on down.
I love you, Pete.
You put up with me. That's your... God damn it, John. Need to fix it. Fix this. Actively, it's been a year and I can't talk over your bullshit. You need to fix it, John. So help me. I'm coming at you. How much is a flight to Jennifer? How much is a flight to Michigan? I'm going to put hands on John.